Yo, what's up guys, Shit here. Welcome to the first episode where I will be reviewing the latest episode of the post-passage animation that just aired. And I'll basically be adding a little bit of context and talking about how it was to play at the table the things that you just saw. So, starting with this scene with the record scratch, freeze frame, yep, that's me meme. I wanted to add this just because I grew up with movies doing all of this. I didn't know the origin. Apparently, it was an Adult Swim sketch of Emperor Palpatine falling from the thing in episode 6. That's the first reference according to Know Your Meme. And then movies started using it. But my main reference for it is the Emperor's New Groove and Kronk's New Groove. And yeah, I think it's a funny way to start a story. A little bit vintage? Question mark. It's a nice little reference, I think. So the party starts in the streets of an undisclosed city. They stumble upon a swarm of cranium rats that Johnson tries to turn the unholy on them, which fails because they're not demons or undead or any other classification of monster that suffers from turn the unholy. They are aberrations, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they're beasts anymore. Gotta check on that. So turn the unholy fails, and the rats jump on them. Combat starts, but it is interrupted to make the sketch. Then we skip a little bit to here, where floating Ghidorah is going into the portal with the planet of Lon. Yes, the name of the planet is Lon. When I was creating the universe, I needed a name for the planet, and I thought Lon sounded nice. I knew it probably meant something, but I forgot what. So I was just like, I'll leave it at Lon, and then I'll find out later what it actually means. Now I know what it means. It kind of fits. This is the event of the passage, which you guys will learn a little bit more as time goes. The post-passage campaign is actually the second campaign I'm DMing. The first one is called Accommodation, and we started in 2015, where Ghidorah was actually a character in the party. And yes, I also DM'd the first campaign, which means Ghidorah was my DM character. But I was so new to DMing that I was too worried about keeping track of everything that there were times where we would run an encounter for 3 hours, and at the end of it, I would be like, oh, wait, I didn't roll initiative for Ghidorah. He was just T-posing on the background because I forgot about him. And you guys will learn a little bit more about the Accommodation party in the future as well. But know that the post-passage came as a time skip of that campaign. I interrupted it because we were playing in a homebrew system that ended up becoming too complicated. We were wasting too much time worrying about the system rather than playing, so I decided to stop, do a time skip, and then start using effectively D&D 5e. So the players are now playing as the either reincarnations of their original characters or as children or grandchildren of those characters, which gave them a connection to the members of this party right from the beginning. And I thought that was pretty cool. First scene in the tavern. I again tried to do another little reference here. My inspiration for this was the Smash Bros. A new challenger approaches thing, which I really like. So let me talk a little bit about each of these characters, because they have some homebrews in them. Sarah is a Simic hybrid with Lion there as the homebrew. I really like the Simic hybrid race in D&D because it allows for customization just by default, which means I can create my own customization based on it to create any other race practically. So the lioness part of Sarah gives her extra or gives her advantage on some perception checks with different senses like smell and hearing. When she gets to level 3 or 5, I don't remember when the Simic Hybrid gets the second perk, she gets extra movement from her feet that are actually lion feet, but you mostly won't see it because she's always wearing her boots. Mistral is our wild magic sorcerer. I am a little bit biased. I love Mistral because I love this class and subclass specifically. And he's a fawn. I think there is nowadays a satyr race in D&D, but when we started this campaign, I was not aware of it, so I said to him that he could play a fawn and we would just use Firbolg stats. So here we have Galvar, another race from the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. He's a Vidalcan, and he's a math magician wizard. Mostly we use the what's the name? The skills that you get from the transmutation wizard school, but he has his own little spells. Galvar's player is a bigger nerd than me and most people on the table. No, just kidding. He's just a doctor in mathematics. So he incorporated that into his character, and we homebrew some spells that I think are very creative, very fun to see in action, and I can't wait to show you guys some uses that he had for it. Valendris is our first cleric from the Blood Domain, which is homebrew, though I think there is an official domain that has a similar name, maybe even similar skills, not sure. But when I talked to Valendris about it, he wanted something that would have some equivalent exchange of sorts. So this is very much based on the Life Cleric, except he can make additional sacrifices to give more support to his fellow party members. Kefira is our second cleric from the Tempest domain, one I particularly really like. I created 1 or 2 characters already with this domain, and she's half Triton. I didn't put an asterisk with homebrew there because she basically uses Triton stats and abilities, but Kefira is the daughter of 2 other characters from the Accombation campaign, which means she is a mixture of many races, and one of them allows her to live a long time, so that's why she's age 74, but proportionally she's like 30 something. She's still the aunt of the group and they're responsible for all the dad jokes. This is Lamia, the second wizard of the party. Yes, the party has 2 wizards, which means they like to share spells and copy each other's spells. So Lamia ends up learning some math magician spells from Galvar. She has this inquisitive background, which is homebrew. Her player found it on the internet. I don't remember where, but it's on her character sheet, so everything's there. It basically allows her to identify lawful and unlawful parts of the city and organizations and kind of tell if someone is being sketchy or not. If I'm not mistaken, she should have heterochromia in her eyes, but there is no concept art where that shows her second eye that is normally hidden by her white bank, which means she just ended up with 2 red eyes, and yeah. But I love her design. Lamia's player has a real talent for making cool design characters. Too bad he's kind of distracted during the games, so he's very lost in in regards to lore, and he sometimes can't participate a lot because of timing and scheduling issues, but you know, that's just classic D&D. Johnson is the party's baby. He's just 18 years old. He's Oath of Devotion Paladin, Minotaur. Though you will see that he doesn't really have a snout, he has kind of a human face. That's because his family is Minotaur and human mixed, so he ends up having this face. Yeah, you see that he's a pretty much classic lawful good paladin, but I really like how his player navigates it. He's not annoying at all. He's a great party member, and I think you guys will like. And this is Malin. She's the party's rogue. She ends up having also the Wood Elf race to help with the dexterity and everything. You notice that she's a very young elf. That's because I never really understood why elves lived that much, and it was a big problem with world building having to consider a race of people that just lives for 1,000+ years. So I was like, that's bullshit. And decided that elves don't live that much in this universe. Yeah, I'm sorry to everyone who likes the near immortality aspect of elves. In this universe, they live maybe a little bit more than humans to like 150, and that's it. Because otherwise, world building would be yeah. So Kefira ends telling her first joke of the campaign, and no one really cares a lot, just like in how it was in the table, except Valandras, that starts laughing a lot. And if you can see, Lamia casted a spell on him, and that helped them connect later. You see in the second episode or third, when the party starts to actually talk to each other and get to know each other and work together. This ends up being a nice icebreaker, the fact that Lamia enchanted him. Except there's only one problem. I was looking through Lamia's character sheet, and she doesn't have Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I don't even think Tasha's Hideous Laughter is a level 1 spell. Maybe it is. But the fact is, no one in my campaign ever used this spell. So, how did Lamia make Valandra's laugh? I don't know. And I have the sessions recorded. I recorded everything, except I only started recording this first session when combat started against the Unkegs, which means everything first episode was from memory. And I know this happens because they talk about it afterwards, but I don't remember exactly how it happens. And I was talking to Lamia's player yesterday after the episode aired. He also doesn't remember. He thinks that maybe he used his Kalashtar power to say something telepathically to Valandras, but that also doesn't make a lot of sense because they didn't know each other. The characters didn't know each other yet. But yeah, this happened. I also just wanted to pause here, not because there's a lot of context to give. I just love how Noble Mistral looks at them, just like the Benedict Cumberbatch meme of "Is this a poor joke? I'm too rich to understand." Like the noble he is, attention to his pinky raised, because of course. Oh, and also now it's easier to see he has goat eyes. Mistral is goated. I also want to stop on this scene here that is also the video's thumbnail because I love this art so much. Cannot thank Dragon Shoe and Gabi Dodge enough for making this. It's spectacular. Thank you. And here we have the Unkeg that also looks amazing with the purple firework light reflecting on him. For his screech, I decided to record it myself, like just hissing at the microphone. And I'm not sure why I did that, because for the rats at the beginning, I just took a sound effect from the internet. If I'm not mistaken, those are crocodile hisses, but the rats are doing it, so. But for the unkeg, I decided to do it myself. Why? No idea. Did I hurt my vocal cords? Probably. But then with a little bit of editing, it ended up sounding pretty nice, I would say. And then here at the end, we have just some sketches of what would be Lamia's reaction to Kefira's joke, just like Johnson looking at Valandras for actually laughing at it. And this sort of thing, from the sketches to the process of making the characters that end up showing up on the final cut or on the official scene, will be the sort of stuff that will be in the Patreon. So if you're interested in that, there are so many jokes and memes that fly around during production. It's really fun to work on this project and to work with Dragon Shoe and Gabi Dodge. So I think you guys will like it as well. And yeah, that's basically it. I talked a little bit about the lore, even a little bit about the background of each character. I have to control myself not to just spoil everything. So I'll just leave it as it is, not to risk talking too much. And yeah, episode 2 is already under production. In the meanwhile, I'll be streaming Baldur's Gate. I ran from every possible spoiler from the game. I know, like, very insignificant things. So I'm excited to play it with an audience. I'll leave the link for the Twitch in the description. The Twitch is at Gdroff and not at Postpassage. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. I'm very excited to start playing. I've been controlling myself for months not to download it from my Steam library. Now it's finally time. I cannot wait. I'll be posting in my socials whenever I can find time in my schedule to actually stream regularly. So I'm also going to leave the links to them in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching again. See you hopefully on the streams. Bye.